taking off. No brakes. All gas. Now watch me boss up. Blockchain's future, yeah, we stacking up the blocks while they sleeping on the tech. We be breaking all the locks. Started from the vision, now we running with precision.
What's up, people? Welcome to episode 44. It's a little late. 44 is the number of the episode and 14 past the hour. We've finally got it to the show. Chase, what a fun way to start, man.
Absolutely. It had nothing to do with James and being a boomer and technical difficulties. I know people are going to ask that in the questions, but that was not the case.
Yeah, nothing to do with me at all. Also, guys, just apologies. If you were wondering about whether we got to X or not, our man backstage, Mr. Backstage, has got things going again. That was part of the reason we took a while, but we are back on X, so ignore my post. I put a post out on X to say that we're only going to YouTube, but we're here. Daniel Fritscher, am I pronouncing that correctly? Fritscher, is that correct?
That is actually the correct German pronunciation.
Wow, look at this guy.
In America, I guess they switched to Fritchie, but you're technically more correct than my family.
It's the South. It's the South African influence, man. Welcome to the show. It's so great to have you, and so appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, happy to be here. Great, excited to catch up with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely excited to have you on, my man. And excited to hear more about Tradeport, and also excited to talk about y'all's PBO missions went live today to kind of introduce Tradeport into our community, maybe people that were familiar about what Tradeport is, which is a multi-chain NFT trading platform, which is I've used it multiple times for Sui NFTs, but I know that Supra and creators should be dabbling in Tradeport, I guess I should say. So let's talk a little bit more about that. But again, thank you for being here, my man. We really appreciate it. Jamesy boy, first off, how are you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. I mean, I could have been better, had my computer been playing the game. But, besides that, just super stoked to have Daniel on. He came on at very short notice. This show's going to cook. So, the fact that Daniel's here and I got his name correct and backstage, he said I look like Tom Cruise, bro. Like,
he did say that.
It's a good start to the day.
He did say that.
I'm feeling so much better, man.
Hey, chat. Let's take a poll. Does James look like Tom Cruise? Put your answers in the chat. Turn to the side.
Send it, bro. Send it, baby.
Oh, awesome. Well, Daniel, first things first, we usually run through a little bit of community posts, and then we go through some ecosystem news just to catch everybody up. If you feel free to hop in on any of these. If you want to talk about anything that we're talking about, feel free more than just hop in if you want to, basically is what I'm trying to say here. I don't want to make it seem like we're just keeping you on the sidelines, but let's run through this because we do have a stacked show and we also have a bunch of questions that I would love to get through. So we're going to spend as least amount of time on this as possible. So first things first for community post, this is from Insame Supra. We see them all the time. They are very, very active on Supra. Insame.supra. I'm not even going to try to and pronounce his handle. So showing off their 100-day streak on PBO, which is crazy. I work for Supra and I log onto the PBO platform every single day for work. And I think the longest streak I've had is like 8 days. So for you to have 100 is insane. To go in there every day, to just remember to do it. Because the thing is like everybody gets busy on one day, right? And you just are going to forget this. Not this guy. Shout out to you, my boy, and keep it up.
What a man.
By the way, I think that I want to look into who has the longest streak, by the way, and then I'm going to send you a care package. I got to send you something because that is actually crazy.
But I mean, even if there's someone with longer than 100 days, like that deserves a care package anyway. You can send them mine that you haven't sent me yet.
Okay, will do.
Next up is Sufane Supra. Sufane has actually been pretty active as I was going through all the community posts for the week. I could have picked out a number of your posts. So nice work, Sufane. They are Eco Airdrops. I don't know if that was a mistake when you made your username, but not Eco Airdrops, Eco Airdrops. But they've made an amazing comic book meme for the Metasol contest. Really nice work here. You've turned those Metasol NFTs into a live comic book. You might not be able to see that live comic book in this screenshot, but if you check out the post, you'll be able to see how the comic comes alive as a video. So really, really good work. They just cooked up some fresh meme magic from the Metasol Supra contest. I had a blast making this. Fingers crossed it brings good vibes. Well, it got you onto the show, my man, and some laughs. Good luck to everyone joining, and a couple of hashtags there as well. So nice work, Sufane.
Shout out to you. Yeah, I see them all the time on my feed. Somebody I also see all the time on my feed is Super Saiyans. Super Saiyans are back. I'm glad that I got that one this week, because you say it wrong every week, James. Every single damn week.
I always say Super Saiyans.
Super Saiyans. Super Saiyans are back, baby.
Dragon Ball Z fan, James.
See, that's what I said. I said, what? You didn't watch Dragon Ball Z?
We don't get TV in Africa, man.
Yeah, he's never even seen a TV, actually. It's crazy. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so Super Saiyans are back, and they're highlighting that Pecky nodes of chicken wings have all sold out, and the remaining US that... Huh?
Who wrote the scripts?
I don't know. Anyways, they completely sold out their nodes yesterday. Shout out to that team over there. I actually commented on their post yesterday without even knowing we were going to feature them. I love what they're building. They're like actually one of the coolest little projects I've seen, especially being an NFT project, but their NFTs are nodes and you can stake on certain people's nodes. It's like a super cool concept. And 100% of all of their funds that they get within this project, they redistribute into the project. So this isn't like his job. This is really like a project being built on a project. And I love when projects do that. Build slow, build right, and you will be successful. They're doing it right over there. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Do your own goddamn research. But these guys are really cool, and I support builders. I say it all the time on here. A lot of these things that we mentioned on the show that are built community projects, whether it be a coin, whether it be an NFT project, we can't tell y'all to invest in these, and we're not telling you to do so, but we are highlighting the builders because we like to support these guys. So go check them out. They're doing cool shit over there. Shout out to the Chicken Wings team, and shout out to Super Saiyans for highlighting them this week.
Yeah, totally. Also, I also want to give a shout out to Chicken Wings. We have tried to get them on the show. They're kind of feeling like they're not quite ready, and they're working full time. This obviously isn't a full time thing for them. They have their own jobs. So the show actually happens while they're at work. So getting them on the show is going to be a tough one, but we're working on it. So shout out to you guys. Also, quick mention in the chat just to everyone watching. Fan says they have 101-day streak, baby. That is crazy on PBO. That's outrageous. Super Daddy, I love you. He's better looking than Tom Cruise. Come on. Oh, look at that.
Baby.
Man, even this 40-year-old face is still holding up. But I guess,
up, bro.
Tom is like 80. So Mustafa says, totally, man. I just see it. Who else we got? Lou says, nice hat. And definitely talking about your hat, Chase. So Lou Vo, thanks, man.
Well, she could be talking about Daniel's hat.
Oh, yeah,
she's
that's
not
also...
talking about... You say she's not talking about yours.
I definitely know she's not talking about mine.
Okay.
Or he or she, whoever it is. Okay, let's move on to ecosystem news. We got a couple of posts to get through. Then we're going to chat to Daniel. More NFT stuff. There's a lot of NFT stuff on the show, which is fitting considering we have Daniel on the show from Tradeport. This one's about AI Garden. Their launch obviously happened last week. It's gone really well. There have been a couple of questions around the mint price. And I just want to remind everyone, first of all, that this guy has been building on his own dime. And so that's things like server costs. That's things like AI subscriptions. And we're talking developer AI tooling. So that is not cheap. And then remember that every time that he or you mint an NFT, it's sending an API call to the various AI services that's costing him money, right? So he's got to recoup all of those costs as well. And he's trying to find the right sort of sweet spot of the prices. But just wanted to make mention of that. Anyways, what they've done is they've announced that Tiny Legends is coming. it's a smaller supply, it's a cheaper price entry, and it's still going to give you the full AI garden experience. So I'm going to read the post right here. Dream Protocol was the first seed of AI garden, the Genesis collection that started it all. Tiny Legends will launch with a smaller supply, a lower entry point, and the full garden experience, lore, battles, and side quests. Dream Protocol holders, our first believers, will receive one free Tiny Legend mint and have 1 hour to create before the whitelist opens on each new drop for the next several releases. So I love that as he's going through this, he's like, how do I give more value to my Dream Protocol believers and minters? So really, really great work from Judd at AI Garden. So the Dreamers came first, the Legends rise next. Look out for when that opens up.
I think I'm more excited for that collection. That's the one the first saw, like the first collection that he showed me. And I don't know if I'm leaking anything. If I am leaking anything, then oh well. Sorry, Judd, I'm leaking it, buddy. But they'll be able to like battle and stuff. So these Tiny Legends that you meant, you'll be able to like battle them, and they'll have like a PvP score, and like you'll be able to see their records and things like that, which is super dope. I think I'm able to say that. If not, then I'm sorry. But that's cool alpha, dude. That's cool alpha. But yeah, there will be a ton of lore built into it as well, like a story built in. Like after you win or lose a battle, there will be a story built into it after as well. So like he's doing crazy shit over there at AI Garden. It's like the craziest NFT project I've ever seen. I'm really excited about Tiny Legends. Shout out to Judd, man. He's a one-man team doing and has made the craziest NFT project I've ever seen. Daniel, if you haven't looked into or heard about AI Garden, go check them out whenever you get time. Essentially, you mint an NFT, you write your own prompt, and it creates an NFT based off a certain art form, and then it'll give you a rarity score based off of that, and it creates a story based on the art that was made. It's really, really in depth and like a very engaging experience for a user, which NFTs have lacked for a long time. So anyways,
yeah, I actually talked to Judd early on
nice.
when he was launching this. He reached out, randomly reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm building this, check it out." And we hopped on a call, and I was super impressed with it. It's cool to see something different in the NFT space.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
Have something that is like created basically on the fly when you mint it, and just taking a different approach to NFTs. Like, it was cool to see that. And he was just doing it because he was interested in it, like interested in NFTs, interested in AI, just like, one guy just playing around with stuff and having fun. And that's kind of like, I don't know, back to the core of what crypto is about.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And like what NFTs were supposed to be, right? It's like, this is a passion project through and through. Like, there is no way you can say this was like to gain, monetary gains or to be famous. Like, he was like, no, I had like this idea and I just like kept going with it for a year. And like, he finally got it enough to where it was launched. And just doing super, super cool stuff over there. I can't wait to see like, now him getting a little bit of funds, like being able to put that back into the platform to see what really the capabilities of it are. But yeah, shout out to Judd and shout out to AI Garden. If you don't know about him now, go give him a follow. Next up is our boys over at SkinFi. So SkinFi has announced that a drop of new collections. Their Jungle, Lava, and Frost collections launched on Tuesday at only 5 Supra each. You can use them to compete for a 500,000 Supra prize pool. Their post reads, SkinFi drop alert. The Jungle, Lava, and Frost collections are dropping at 17 GMT. Mint price 5 Supra. Boost your points, climb the leaderboard, and compete for 500,000 Supra rewards. Happy crafting, legends. So mint on Crystara's marketplace. Shout out to SkinFi. And shout out to my gamers, bro. And if you want to get clapped in CSGO, just let me know. Anybody can get it at any time. Anytime.
Dude, I can't wait to try and I'm trying to connect with my son more, but he has 2 Xbox controllers that have stick drift, and it's driving me nuts.
Oh, dude.
So he's got the Elite controller, and I can't play because so I got to get a new Xbox controller. And then I'm coming for you. I'm not going to say I'm good, but I'm coming for you.
I am a conspiracy theorist on the regard that Xbox, Microsoft, put stick drift in controllers on purpose. Like, after a certain amount of time that they just have like a function within their motherboard, says, hey, make it skew, and then it just drifts off to the side, because controllers are not cheap. Okay, they're like $70 a piece or some shit, and you have to buy a new one every 2 months or something. Like that's absurd. That cannot be a real thing. And then they'll say,
kind of like the
"Oh, well, just clean it. Clean it."
it's
Doesn't
kind of
work.
like MacBook. It's kind of like the MacBook chargers that always like break right at the box.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
Just planned obsolescence
That's
Yeah,
it.
is
exactly.
annoying.
Yes, because they know, okay, if even 10% of our market has to get a new controller every 6 months, ROI very high.
Dude, I'm taking this clip and I'm sending it to all my friends because I'm like, I want to get myself a PS4 because I can't justify a PS5 for me personally because I don't want to get an Xbox, bro, because of these two controllers that my son has. We got freak anyway. So complete rabbit trail. Apologies for that, everyone.
Yep.
But I'm
They
glad
get
you
it.
guys
They know.
agree with me. I'm glad you guys agree with me. All right, let's move on. Two more ecosystem news posts, and then we can chat to Daniel a lot more in depth. Daniel, thank you for being patient. Right, Atmos, they have highlighted 7 of their features. They are all 100% completed. They're up and running. There's one more. That's their analytics dashboard. It's 70% of the way there. Builders, just keep on building. I love what Atmos are doing. So shout out to them. Look out for their analytics dashboard coming soon.
Love it. Shout out to the boys over there. Next up is Solido. So Solido announced a new video series that summarizes their ecosystem news called The State of Solido. It's with their host, Sakshi, and I probably butchered that. I'm sorry.
That's good. No,
and the first okay, cool. And the first episode dropped today. I watched a little bit of it this morning. I did post it within our ecosystem news channels as well. So if you do want to go check it out, feel free to check it out there. Well, shout out to Mr. Backstage. Thank you, Nipoon. W.
Win, baby. All right. And just before we get into everything Tradeport, I do want to make mention of something that is important. A lot of people on X have been like, yo, what happened to Supra's gold verification badge? And, you know, all the FUD came and, you know, question marks and the whole deal. But trust me, we freaked out. We were like, what the fuck is going on here, man? And we have reached out to X. We're trying to sort the situation out. So there is nothing to do with us running away or anything on our part. We're trying to deal with it. It should be back ASAP. So take this
and I tried to tell people this.
Badge.
This happened like a few months ago too, to where it randomly just disappeared for a couple of days. We are in touch with the team over at X, and then boom, it'll just randomly pop back up. We don't know why it happens. It happens every so often. It's very annoying, especially because Super team members lose their badge too, like their affiliate badge. So then people are a little bit more skeptical when you're messaging them. It just causes a nightmare situation, especially for people like me that have to talk to people constantly on X or mostly on X. It just is a nightmare situation. We hate when it happens. We're trying to get it figured out as soon as possible.
We are indeed. All right, so let's chat.
Shout out to Martin. Martin said Chase said that the payment card still worked. What did you get yourself, Chase? I got myself. Daddy got himself a new pair of shoes.
Oh.
New pair of boots, my boy.
Let's go, boy. He's also watching from the office. Nice one, man.
My boy. And
Super Daddy as well. Cleaning worked on his N64 sticks. But dude, N64, that's like, I mean, you know, I would like to play next gen graphics. Thank you, though, Super Daddy.
Whoa. Wait, speaking of, let's not run past this real quick. Has anybody played a Nintendo 64 like recently in life?
Nah.
Like maybe like GoldenEye 007?
In the past 6 months, yes.
Oh, wow.
Does it not blow your mind how difficult that system was to play? Like the steering,
especially GoldenEye. Yeah,
dude, I did not remember it being so difficult. I
Yeah.
As a kid, I was hitting headshots like nobody's business. But I was walking through there and I was literally having like a profound moment in my brain being like, I can't believe I don't know how to. I felt like my grandparents like picking up a cell phone. You know, like,
Yes.
What the hell is this? What is that? I literally felt like that.
Pointing up at the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. Or you try to turn with the joystick and it's like it's just moving your feet. It's very irritating. Yeah. Anyways, okay, had to just touch on that for a second.
My friend has sons that are like old enough to enjoy Mario Kart now.
Yeah,
and he pulled his N64 out, and we were watching the kids for our wives, and we were playing Goldeneye. So
Yeah, the
Oh,
best.
that was
Yeah,
that's
such a
awesome.
good description. Like you did that so well. Like I could imagine James Bond, like whoop, whoop,
That's
whoop.
literally that's how it is
that's
though.
exactly
It's so,
That was
and it's
really
really
good.
difficult to play.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
so my son is 6, but he's been a gamer since 3. We pulled out our old Nintendo, so he played all the Marios. Now he's we play Fortnite every night together and just get dubs like nobody's business. So
Nice.
anybody in the chat want to play some Fortnite, put your what's it called, your epic handle, I'll add you.
Oh, let's go. All right, so Daniel, I'm guessing you have a bit of gaming experience, clearly, but dude, let's talk about you, co-founder of Tradeport. So good to have you guys in the Supra ecosystem. So great to have you on the show. Tell us about your history, man. Background, and then what got you into Web3.
yeah, and so I have my background is kind of all over the place. The engineer by training and kind of like industrial engineering actually. So I'm more of like a self-taught programmer. I got more interested in programming. Had a little bit of exposure to that in school, and kind of went further down that path on my own. But then got into finance after school. So I worked in finance for I guess a total of like 4.5 years or so. Just traditional finance. At first, it was more of like a stock research job, and then I transitioned into more quantitative research jobs. So I gained those programming skills in that. While I was there, though, one, I got kind of like disenchanted with TradFi, kind of like seeing the inner workings of it and how the system worked and how, all the big players basically, run the game. So I became a little disenchanted with it. And my co-founder, Josh, we've actually been good friends since we were like 11 years old. We played baseball together growing up, and he was after school. He kind of like went and traveled. So he was all over the world for 5 years after school. Before he left in 2012, or no, I guess it was before college, he was telling me about Bitcoin, and I didn't really listen to him. And he played around with it. I think he got some Bitcoin at the faucet, got some Bitcoin from doing, earn.com tasks. Like he was on the message boards. He's always been like super interested in kind of early tech stuff. And I just didn't give him much thought. Then in 2017, while I was working on a finance job, he told me about Ethereum. I was like, okay, I remember you mentioning Bitcoin. Like you were right about that. He was in Zimbabwe at the time, and they were having crazy hyperinflation. And he was like, all these taxi drivers just use Ethereum to like send money back for each other. He's like, so I bought a little bit of it. We'll see what happens. And he was right about that as well. I also didn't. I looked at it a little bit more, but I still just didn't totally understand it. And then in actually the same year, he told me about a chain called, or a project called Blockstack. It eventually became a chain called Stacks, but it was kind of a decentralized, at the time, like decentralized web. And the idea was to kind of like own your own data. And that was also at the same time that like Facebook and some of those guys all had like big data leaks, and Zuck was on Capitol Hill trying to defend himself against that. I deleted my Facebook and Instagram at the time, so I just was kind of fed up with all the data concerns and stuff. So that one resonated with me. We bought the ICO on that, so that kind of like got me interested in crypto, at least watching it more. Passively. So over the next couple of years, I just kind of passively watched the space. And then in 2020, whenever COVID hit, I just got super concerned about inflation and finally had the, Bitcoin revelation of like, oh, this is what this is about, basically a better gold. So I got super into it then. And Josh and I kind of picked up conversations about crypto at that time. He was still traveling. I was still working in finance. So I was like hardcore, just like only looked at Bitcoin. I wasn't that concerned with anything else. And then NFTs started kind of popping off. And when I was younger, I collected baseball cards, loved baseball cards. So NFTs like immediately resonated with me. And even though I was kind of like almost like a Bitcoin maxi at the time, I was like, I get these NFT things. So I minted one. I think it was like a Stoner Cats, or maybe like a knockoff of Stoner Cats, the actually project. I didn't do very well on that. I ended up buying a pudgy penguin on a secondary market after they had already run. So it was like it was expensive. It was like $10,000. And I told Josh this, and he's like, "Wait a second, you're the most fiscally conservative person I know, and you spent $10,000 on this JPEG." I was like, "Yeah, makes sense." And he's like, "Okay, we got to dive into this." So from that moment, like, it was probably from then until like 3 weeks later that we started working on our own NFT project, because we're like, we want to learn this space, and we're both self-taught programmers. So we're like, we want to just build a full stack app that, you can go to the site, you can mint, we write the smart contract for it, and we're going to do it on Stacks because that's the chain we have some bags on. So we did that, and we launched a generative art collection called Mandelbrot's. It's like a math equation that generates some cool pictures. And it was the second NFT project on Stacks. And after we launched that, a bunch of people started asking us to write their smart contracts because no one knew how to write smart contracts on Stacks. To help them launch their NFT projects. And those after the races, that was the start of it, and started me like going full time into Web3.
And that's so funny. Speaking of buying, shout out to Gutter Cats, by the way. If you know Gutter Cats, you're an OG Ethereum NFT trader. I was in the part of the Gutter Cats at one time. Turned into a shit show. Either way, shout out to them. That was a fun time in NFTs. I also bought a Deadfellas for $15,000 back in those days. You remember Deadfellas, right? So I bought one with like the leather spiky jacket, and like had like there was like Easter eggs in some of them that had like wrong mouths, but they never corrected them. So they were worth like a little bit more. And the reason that I would go over something like I wanted one that was rare was because of the baseball card thing that you mentioned. I collected cards like a maniac. I still collect cards with my son. We collect Pokemon. I collect all, like, if I could turn my camera around, I have every holographic from the original Pokemon base set on my wall, like framed.
No way.
Yeah, wait, here. Let me see if I can. Let me take it off.
Wow.
Yeah. So so the collecting part of NFTs always made sense to me. Like, that was the fun part about it. It was like, I want the rare ones, I want the cool ones, I want the ones most people aren't going to have. So that's what got me into NFTs. And then speaking on your point of Bitcoin, like buying it in 2012, I saw this meme, and it says what I was doing in 2012 instead of buying Bitcoin. And it's this guy playing GTA like 3, throwing like Molotov cocktails at people. It's like, dude, that's exactly what I was doing in 2012. It's like, why did I not have a friend? And I actually lie. Shout out to Casey McNeil. I probably shouldn't say his full name on the internet like this, but shout out to my buddy Casey McNeil. In 2013, he invested $3,000 into Bitcoin, and I don't even remember how many he got at that time, but it was like a substantial amount. And he was like, "Hey, just give me $1,000 and you can pay me back over time, and we'll split it." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not really interested." Didn't ever do it. Long story short, I think Casey ended up selling around like 110. So shout out to Casey. Yeah, and he also, I'll give him his flowers while we're on the show. He owned a recycling company for computer devices or cell phones. So he would contact all these huge corporations in Houston, like oil corporations. Every 2 years, they all get new computers. So they just stack them in rooms over and over. So he would go and say, hey, I'll buy them from you for whatever you want. And then he would recycle all the rare earth elements in there. Anyways, that company got bought by like some huge company like 4 years after he started. So Casey said pretty anyway, but I'm sure the Bitcoin bonus was really awesome as well.
Another Chase horror story.
Another Chase horror story. I got one a week, baby. I could go on.
I'm actually thankful that I didn't buy it then, because I would have fumbled it.
100%. I would have never made it. Yeah,
no,
dude.
I don't know how people held from, like, Casey, how in the world did you hold that long?
And I guess in my mind, the only way that it made sense for him was like he didn't need the money, right? He was like doing pretty well on the side. So for him, it was just like, I'm just going to see what happens with this. Because essentially it was free money for him anyway. He had like he was repairing Xboxes and shit on the side, got some money, just invested in a crypto and let it sit there. And then, but here we are, gosh, we were in high school, 9th grade, 2004. 21 years ago. Jesus. When he was doing the Xbox stuff. Sorry, I just aged myself, but good Lord. Okay.
Man's waking up to his age.
Dude, no, it happened last night, dude. My wife goes, isn't it crazy? You've been out of high school for just as long as you were in high school. And I was like, oh my, or in school. So until you're 18, and I'm 36 now. So 18 years I've been out of high school. And I was like, oh my God. Like I still remember high school vividly. Like that does not seem like that long ago to me. Anyways, thank y'all for going on that roller coaster of emotion with me. Next question. So Daniel, when did you start building Tradeport? I know you kind of talked about it, but what was the vision behind it? And I guess the initial like spark of being like, wait, we just need to create our own platform.
Yeah, so that was in 2021. We launched the NFT project in like September of 2021, really with just the intention of doing this on the side and like learning how to build stuff in the space. But as people started coming to us and asking us to help them launch their projects, we started charging money for it, and then people wanted a place to trade them on the secondary market. There was one marketplace on Stacks at the time that wasn't great. So we're like, well, I guess we'll just build that too. And ended up, we were basically up all night doing our regular work during the day. And then, going back to it at night for probably 3 months straight before we really formed our vision of what we want to do. Our vision started to kind of solidify over those couple months of like, okay, NFTs are really interesting for collecting. We feel pretty strongly about what smart contracts can enable, for, I guess kind of traditional assets, finance, things like that. But with this addition of NFTs as a thing, basically we can bring everything from the real world that is stored somewhere. It has data stored somewhere. We can represent those assets as either NFTs or fungible tokens. This is really interesting. I think we can build a platform that kind of creates the rails for people to transact these assets on in the future. Currently, the market is, people are trading NFTs, so we'll just build a platform for people to trade NFTs. But on the whole time, the underlying vision has been, let's build a programmatic interface for all digital assets, and that's been the vision behind even how we build our backend infrastructure. Of we're going to tie this all together in a very seamless way. Which we don't think most people do. And it sets us up really well to be able to bring any sort of asset that's represented as an NFT or even now fungible tokens onto the platform whenever the market kind of gets there. I think we were very optimistic that the market would get there much more quickly than what it has, but we still believe that it will. So yeah, that's the genesis and the vision.
Is that so essentially you're trying to future proof your platform by building this way?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a genius way to do it. Why have to break everything down if you can see a vision of not having to do it down the road? Because like you said, a lot of people think about this as an afterthought, and adding things on an afterthought, especially in code, is not always as easy as just adding something to the end of a line. It's like, oh shit, we have to start at the beginning. It's like, but
Right.
y'all are kind of doing it at a different concept to where, okay, this might be possible down the road. So let's just add it into code now so we don't have to worry about that when it does happen, like you said, when it does come to fruition, which could be sooner rather than later, but it doesn't matter because y'all have already kind of got it figured out.
Right. Like, let's serve the market as is, but build for what the market could be in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea and concept.
So Daniel, like, you guys are multi-chain. You are operating in a number of ecosystems. I'd love to know how you guys found out about Supra and what brought you into our world.
Yeah. So we kind of initially we were like, we're going to build across every chain, EVM, non-EVM, all of that. As things started to develop, we built on a couple non-EVM chains, Stacks and Near, and then the Move ecosystem started developing. So Aptos, the suite, announced that they were coming out. We started diving into what the Move language was all about and kind of how it had been built and what benefits it had. So we were really attracted to the security that you can have with Move. That's a little bit easier than the security on EVM chains with Solidity, but also that it's more familiar for kind of like traditional programmers as well, and the object-oriented fashion and just the way it's built is more familiar for traditional Web 2 programmers, which to us kind of like there's a ton of potential there for onboarding those developers. So we got into the Move ecosystem built on Aptos and Suite, and really just felt passionate that we should cover all of the Move ecosystem. So we're multi-chain, but basically Move focused now. We still have Stacks on the site, maybe as nostalgia. I don't know. We can't bring ourselves to get rid of it. But it's Move focused. Supra was really interesting to us at the time that we started getting onto Supra. I don't think AutoFi had been announced, but we could tell from what we'd seen from the team and the tech that it wasn't just going to be like a copy paste of other Move chains. And it was going to have some really unique aspects, and seeing AutoFi come to fruition like that kind of was a testament of okay, this was a good choice for us to integrate Supra as well. They are very forward thinking, and that was really it. We were just kind of like impressed with the team and the tech, and we believe the Move framework is going to be where things move over time, and it may take a while, but we think that's where it's going to be. And so being kind of across all the Move ecosystems is really important to us.
I love that. So I know y'all have a no-code launchpad on your website. I've went and dibble-dabbled a little bit. Can you explain maybe just briefly how, like, let's say I'm a creator. I have this idea of wanting to start an NFT collection. I figured out how to create the art. There's a lot of platforms now that will put your art together for you. I know you probably remember the days where you would have to find a developer to run your art via a script and then press out all of your JPEGs. It wasn't super simple to do, but like, let's say I'm a creator. I want to make an NFT collection. How would you go about doing so on your Launchpad?
Yeah, so we have the Launchpad that we have allows people to upload their finished art and metadata, and it basically is a modular smart contract that gets built in the back end as you kind of upload all your information. So you upload your assets, your images, your metadata. Kind of you can specify, obviously what the title is, what royalty should be, what the mint stages should be, basically all the standard things you want in a mint. And then once you deploy it, it uploads everything to the image like IPS or kind of whatever other image. We use Walrus as well. Image storage providers, and deploys the smart contract, and then sets up a mint page for creators to invite users to go mint. So it does not do the art generation. We actually used to have a version of this that had the art generation piece. We got away from it a little bit, mainly because if people mess up the art or kind of like how they put the metadata together or specify the metadata, the script would run correctly, but if it was set up incorrectly, then it didn't matter if the script ran correctly. The finished output would be incorrect. So we didn't necessarily want to like say, hey, this is hands off. You just run it through here and it's completely finished, and then us be responsible for when they actually mess something up. But we've gone back and forth, like, should we offer that again? We usually kind of point people to some other platforms to do that. Or, sometimes we tell people run it through the hatchlet script, which you were kind of referencing. We've done a lot back in the day. But yeah, that's it. It should be a 5-minute process once you have all your assets. Super easy, and it can get you up and running really quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, go ahead, Chase.
No. I was just gonna say, like, that's I can't believe how easy it is to create an NFT collection now. And back when I was really into it, 2020 through, I mean, even still now, I'd still mint NFTs. But when the ball was really going, when it was hot, when there was NFT collections releasing, literally like 3 big NFT collections releasing almost a week. And then it got to the point to where there was an NFT collection that you knew about every single day releasing. I told on the show last week, there was a period in time where I was pretty much trading NFTs as a full-time job, just like on the side, but making enough money for it to be a full-time job. I was like so immersed. I was getting all the whitelist, everything like that. But it's so nice to just see how easy it would be if I wanted to go and create an NFT collection now. Obviously, like the huge wave of NFTs isn't what it used to be, but I do think there's a resurgence kind of coming, and it's bubbling a little bit already. But yeah, it's just, man, if I was a creative dude right now, I would probably have thousands of NFT collections out there because it's so easy to launch them. Next, oh wait, is it you? Sorry, James, I'm about to.
It's all good,
ran
man.
past you. I'm sorry.
But I also want to say you are a creative dude. It's not like you're not, brother. But we let's not digress. I do want to just address a couple of things in the chat. Daniel, we have had a couple of people just mention your sound. It could be your AirPods, because I know that when I use my AirPods, my mic comes off pretty crappy, but it's all good. We can still hear you. So
I hear you fine. Yeah.
We can hear you. So rather than try and, fix that, we can hear you. I just wanted to say to the people in the chat, we see you. Just listen carefully. That's all. All right.
Maybe it'll be
Daniel.
now. I just switched my MacBook.
That is clearer, by the way.
Okay.
So thank you for responding to that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump straight to a user question that has just come through from Isatu Sa. He wants to know from you, Daniel, how do you think NFTs can move beyond purely collectible or art assets and deliver sustainable utility? What are your thoughts on that?
Great question. Holy shit.
It's a very good question. Yeah, I mean, I think NFTs as we know them are probably going to continue to be just collectibles. Like a PFP NFT collection, and this is my opinion, I think should just be kind of like an identity and community building mechanism that people can collect. Now, NFTs, the tech, I do think that can definitely move towards more utility. Obviously, like there's real world assets. We see a lot of real world assets being represented as fungible tokens, but there are plenty that could only really be represented as NFTs. Obviously, like collectibles, watches, cars, all of that. Those would be NFTs if they're on chain. Pokemon cards. We've seen a lot of examples of marketplaces like that that have Pokemon cards as NFTs that'll remove a ton of friction. I think the removal of friction on real world assets is a true utility that NFTs can provide. And especially when you're collecting something, it's like you don't necessarily need to have it in your possession to physically to collect it, and you may not want to deal with the friction of doing that. So and then obviously, like, I think we could get into non-financial use cases that are really helpful, like property records, things like that. Those I believe should be on chain, should be standardized across all the different counties and states and all of that to report them and be easier to access. The tech makes sense for that to be on chain. It's already public information anyways, but it's non-standardized. Like, county records are different in each county, each state. And it's very, very hard to get that data. So those are just like a few things. I think the NFT, the tech, provides a ton of utilities as we continue to get adoption.
I saw a interesting take on using blockchain technology, and somebody said they were dealing with a death in the family, and there was an issue with the will. People had different wills, and there was basically somebody had fudged the process in between handing these wills out or giving them out in between. So one person had a will that said they had all of this shit, and one person had a will that said they had some of the same stuff. So there was like a miscommunication that happened, and somebody was like, what if I would have just put the will on the blockchain, on whatever, put it on chain, and then it lives there forever, that anybody can access, and you could see exactly what it is and exactly what it's supposed to be. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what a beautiful use case, right? Because I've had when my grandpa died, there was a kind of a situation like that, to where people had different wills that said they owned certain parts of his property, and nobody really knew who owned what. So eventually what had to happen, everybody had to get lawyers, and then they ended up just selling the land and splitting the money that was taken in. But that wasn't what was supposed to happen, right? And the only reason that happened was because people had different wills. So by you bringing that up, like deeds to homes, or even house properties, or car note, or car like bills of sale, or whatever, any type of ownership, I think is an incredible way to put on there. But the will thing blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, that's a really good idea.
And you can have private versions of that where it's like on ZK Tech, where people can't see the will. Like, it's not, you can't see not everyone can go see the will, because that may be something that you want more private.
Yeah. Private information. You
can access it with the right wallets, right? And you can see the original version. So
exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. So next question. I know we're cutting it a little. We started a little late, so we still have about 10 or 15 minutes. But I know we want to get into the end, the hot seat questions. But what advice would you give? And we don't even have to be talking about the Launchpad specifically, just in general. What advice would you give to somebody in the Supra ecosystem, a creator, creative guy, creative gal that has an idea for an NFT project? What advice would you give them for launching their first NFT project on Tradeport?
Yeah, I would say kind of figure out what your strengths are to guide what kind of NFT project you want to release. So I think you can go down two different paths with NFTs right now, kind of as we know them. It's, you can go down the path of, I'm going to build a collection. There's no real utility to it, but it's going to be a really fun community, and people are just going to want to be in this community. And if you're the type of person that is really good at building community, just has fun doing that, I think that's the route you should go, and not complicate it. Like, there is a place for those types of collections still, even if people don't, some people don't think that that's the case, that NFTs need to be more than what they were, but there's a place for that. So if that's your strength, go that route. I think that those types of collections are awesome when the community is done well. The other path is like, just do something different and fun that's experimental. AI Garden is a great example of that, where it's different. It's not what we're used to with NFTs. He doesn't have to build a great community with that, because it's something worth exploring. It's something worth trying out. I think if you give something to people that is truly unique, different, And that's kind of your skill set. You're pretty creative in maybe how you deliver the NFT, how the NFT is generated, what, maybe there's some gamification with the NFTs after they're minted, or some sort of dynamic component where you can, do certain things and upgrade your NFTs or change them. If you're good at kind of like designing those things and that's an interest to you, yeah, just build something that's like unique and different, and you don't necessarily have to focus on the community building aspect of it as much. Just be really good at that.
Nice. Yeah. And Daniel, I'm assuming you've been through a couple of the NFT collections within the Supra ecosystem. I'd love to know, before we get into the hot seat, what is your favorite NFT collection that you've seen on Supra so far? Also, to the chat, guys, let us know what your favorite NFT collection on or in the Supra ecosystem is that you guys have seen. I see Super Saiyans are here. Obviously, you've mentioned AI Garden, but any others that you really appreciate, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just saying this because we mentioned it earlier. Anything sand related, I am partial to. I am just such a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
Hey, I'm right there with you, pal.
I've watched the series countless times. I randomly came across some DBZ highlight videos last week, and I just went down a rabbit hole watching them. So I'm partial to anything like that. I know this is a super vanilla answer, but I always love like the OG collections on any chain. Whether they like end up maintaining the traction that they kind of had initially or not, I'm a huge fan of those. So like Bitbots, super interesting. Just as a collector, I like those kinds of things. That basically any chain that I'm on, I always try to pick up some of the OG collections. For example, it doesn't always work out. Like the OG collection on Sui is Fuddies, and it is no more. Basically, the creators are gone, and the market doesn't
name checks out then.
Yeah, it was flooded. It was flooded to zero. The meme was we're going to flood this to zero, and they actually did.
It actually did. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's funny that you mentioned Bitbots, and the cool thing about Bitbots was doing its own thing before Supra was mainnet. Like he was just making these like little pixelated characters and started a community before he could even like make an NFT collection. And then when we went mainnet, it was the first collection to go live on Supra, as far as I know. They've always been super cool to me. I've sent them merch. He like messaged me not too long ago and was like, hey, can I get a hoodie? I want to get every Bitbot embroidered onto it and give it away to my community. I was like, that's an awesome idea. Take a couple hoodies, my man. So shout out to Bitbots. I haven't heard about them in a while, so I always love hearing like people bring them up.
I think that's what I appreciate about the OG collections is it's like always people that were just playing around with stuff or like with the chain before it even launched, and they were ready to go early on and they launched early on, with the exception of the Punks copycats. I don't count those as the OG collections on each chain. But that's what I appreciate about them is like they were there from the beginning and really appreciate the tech of the chain too.
Yep, for sure. And when he started making those, like it wasn't even, I want to say that it wasn't even like an NFT project. He was just making them to make them. And then people kind of hounded him like, hey, make me a profile picture, make me a profile picture. And then eventually he was like, well, shit, I'm just going to turn this into an NFT project and launch when the Super launches. And he did. And it's awesome. I have a Bitbot myself. I don't even know what it looks like anymore. It's been so long since I've looked at it, but I know I minted one and I have it somewhere in my wallet. So sweet. So I know we're cutting a little close. Let's get to these hot seat questions if we're ready to do so. Jaime, are you good?
I'm good, man.
Love it.
Love it. As long as
All
Daniel's ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Daniel. Yeah, you can answer these as short or as long form as you would like. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. So we start with, and this is obviously, I think this is probably our favorite one because we all have one of these. What's your worst crypto horror story?
I basically completely round tripped a proof pass and the 2 or 3 moonbirds that came with it.
We discussed this last time too.
Yes, I've gotten past the pain of it, I think, but I still think about it often. So proof passes went to like 150 ETH, and moonbirds went to like 40 piece. Yeah,
dude,
pretty stupid. So
I remember when the moonbirds thing happened, and then they minted it like 3 ETH, if I remember correctly, 3.5. And then they went up to like 6, and I was like, oh, holy shit, this is crazy. And then it went to like 10, and I go, okay, this is the top. There's no way that these get any higher than this. Went to bed, woke up, they're at like 13. I watched it the whole time. I had a moonbird. I sold very early at like 7.5, like an idiot. I thought that was just, there was no way that it was going to go any higher than that. And I was not going to be caught holding the bag like I always do. So I sold mine, regretted it when it got to 40. So I'm right there with you. I wish I would have, I had another one in a separate wallet that I did round trip through 40 that I still have to this day.
One of my friends had a semi-rare one. Wasn't super rare, but he sold it legitimately like right at the top for 50.
Oh god! Oh man!
Bought a Porsche the next day, and I was like, "Oh,
good for him."
Yeah, and I was like, crazy that he's just going to spend that on a Porsche. And I'm like, that was a much smarter move than just holding on to it.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
It should have been a Lambo, though. I mean,
yeah.
The thing about crypto, I would never be able to take that much money and just put it into a car. I guess I have a different mindset than most people or some people. I want to put that money into something that either works for me or save it, or do something really cool with my family. It's like a car. I drive a truck every day. It's like, I don't give a shit about a car. Like that status symbol to me means nothing. You know, like when I see a Lambo or a cool car, I'm like, cool. You know?
That's how I am too. But at times I've wished that I wasn't as much that way. And I like saw that, you know, that money on the screen and was like from an NFT or whatever meme coin, and was like, oh, I could go buy a, you know, luxury car with that. Then I wouldn't round trip.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it's like 150,000. Oh, I'm just gonna go put that on a house. You know, I'm gonna go buy some land. Like, I guess that's where my mind goes when I win a large sum of money. The most I've ever sold an NFT for was $35,000, though. I mean, obviously a substantial amount of money, but not Porsche or Lambo. I could have bought like a used Honda Civic, Honda Civic.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
We get so like. Our minds get so messed up in this space when things go on crazy runs, but that's still wild.
That still is absolutely wild.
All right, moving on to the next two. I'm gonna do the next two real quick here, Daniel, because the second one you did mention.
Just ask 3 instead.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna skip, because just for anyone watching now, the question is, what did you do before crypto? He was an engineer and was in traditional finance. So question 3. If crypto crashes tomorrow, like there's no crypto disappears, what's your plan B career move?
I'm going to go touch some grass and go work with my in-laws, my family on their ranch, and just get off the screens if that happens.
Dude, that's the best. I want to do that even if crypto doesn't crash. Okay, I want to go.
Did you see? He answered that as if though he's like, I'm going to do that. He's like, I'm going tomorrow. I'm gone, man.
He's waiting for it. He's waiting for the crash so he
honestly,
can go out to the farm fields.
Completely implodes or it goes nuts. Probably either way. That is.
Dude, exactly. That's really what life is about, and really, like my dream. Like, and I talk about this with my wife and my family all the time. Buy a bunch of land out in Central Texas, you know, outside of Fredericksburg, wine country, and then just fucking be around nothing and nobody and just do whatever I want to do all the time with the people I love the most. Build a compound. Hey, y'all want to build a house on my land? You're more than welcome to. Don't even pay for the property. You can have your own land here. That's my goal, is to be eventually to have enough land to I can have all my friends and family build a house if they want to there or not, or just visit.
It looks like James is already living this. I don't know the situation.
Dude, James, I don't know if you heard because you were having sound issues when you first got on, but the first question Daniel's asked, he goes, "What the hell is James's background real?" I go, everybody asks that, dude. He has to throw shit off of it sometimes.
I think we all have the same plan. Let's be honest, because I mean, living here, same kind of plan, same kind of vision, man.
Yeah.
It's that core man, central core thing for being a man. It's like, no, I want my own land. I want my own shit.
Yeah. I don't want to sit in front of a computer and type away my whole life.
No. I want to go walk around and do shit all the time.
Yeah.
That's just what I want to do.
That's right.
Okay. This next question. So who's the one person in crypto you would like to have dinner with? And what would be the first question you ask them? I don't know if this has changed.
Probably Kobe. I would love to have dinner with Kobe. I'm actually jealous. Someone I know works at Coinbase, and Echo just got acquired by Coinbase, Kobe's company, and my buddy was like, "Yeah, I got to talk to Kobe the other day." I was like,
"Were you like what?"
Man, jealous. I would honestly just ask him about the early days of Bitcoin, the early days lore of the crypto space. I would love to hear that directly from him. I think he got into it 2012 or 2013 through 2015. I would just love to hear that lore. Because I love crypto Twitter lore. It's super, super interesting to me. So I would just love to hear about the people back then and that were in the space.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I am in Web3 because of crypto Twitter. I'm in Web3 because I love Twitter, right? I got into Twitter 2009, and I lived my life off of Twitter. It literally shaped half of my worldview. Fortunately, not so much now, but it got me into crypto, because without Twitter, I wouldn't have heard about Bitcoin, about Ethereum. And I remember actually making a decision, 2017. I was like, I want to do crypto full time. And in 2 years, I was full time, man. It's crazy, the crypto Twitter lore, right?
By the way, I just love hearing how people got into crypto. That's one of my favorite things, because especially our age of people had already had careers before crypto was booming, and to be able to get a career now, it's a little bit differently, right? If I'm in high school and I say I want to be a blockchain developer, it's I could be in crypto from legitimately as far as my life concerns. As far back as you can remember, crypto has been around. For us, we not only had the crypto moment, but I always explain this to my little brother's friends. It's do y'all remember the phone moment when mobile phones became a thing, and it was you're holy shit, you have a cell phone? That's crazy. You could just call people whenever the fuck you want walking around. That's insane to me. I also remember the internet, when my dad brought home a computer from work and he had an AOL disk and we could get on the internet. So it's weird living in these moments, right? To where it's this life-changing experience, the internet. We're talking NFTs, we're talking crypto, all these huge moments that we're living through, that you kind of have to jump into it as an afterthought, right? It's we had already had career paths before crypto was out. I was working at Nike, I was working at New Balance. I had a fashion career. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be marketing fashion companies. That's where I wanted to go forever. Crypto comes out, COVID happens. It's my whole world changes. My whole view of scope of money and what needs to be done with it changes. And it's shit, I want to work there now, and being an adult, that's a scary thing to do, to jump off the boat into a completely new industry where nobody. And it's every time you try to explain somebody to crypto back then, even as far as 2020, magic money, people that's not real. That's fucking fake money, dude. There's no way that's ever going to be anything. Look at it now. It's there's hundreds of $1 billion circulating daily, and people with real careers, and obviously all three of us are in that field now. But it's just so interesting to see how grown adults transitioned into a space that was so new, and an idea and a concept that was just built from nothing.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because it's people came from all different backgrounds.
Exactly.
Because they were in different careers before, and it's kind of interesting to see what were the common threads in these people's personalities or their experiences that led them to this. Sometimes there's not a ton of commonalities, but it seems like there are some threads that drew people into it. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, Jaime. Sorry, went off a.
That's all good. You're next, brother. Next question's yours.
Cool. Okay, so this is the last one, and I think you've done this one before too. I think this was on the last time that we had you. But what we do here, and I'm not looking away. I'm opening up a clock. So if you had to explain to your grandma, or let's say grandpa this time, crypto in 10 seconds, how would you do it? And whenever, I won't press start until you're ready. And don't say anything, because when you start talking, we're not going to start this timer. Oh shit. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Jump again. This is such a difficult question. I love just seeing people sweating.
It is the worst.
It's the worst. I'd love to see there's like actual thought going in here.
The engineer brain is running, man.
Yes.
Crypto is a publicly viewable account of all transactions of different assets. I don't know.
Hey, I mean, that's pretty good.
That was really good. That was really well thought out. And we could see your brain figuring that out. How am I going to put this into a sentence?
In 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yours was very similar to mine.
Okay.
Mine was just like, imagine you had full control of all your money all the time and nobody could tell you to do anything with it at all. And it's like,
that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, hey, you have control of all your money all the time and you can send it to anybody. You can pull it out whenever you want. It's your money. You don't have to go to the bank and ask for $10,000 and they say, I'm going to need like 8 days to fulfill that for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what the fuck? Where's my money at then? You know, that's a weird concept for people. I mean, it's a weird concept for me.
Or like you deposit money into your account and they're like, where did this come from? We'll have to do a review of your account because we don't know where this came from. It's my money. I'll put it in there.
It doesn't matter, dude. So I sold my an old project car that my dad had that didn't want to do, but it was like an old Chevelle, but we sold it for like $12,000 because it was like the ideal year. Not a car guy again, didn't give a shit about it. Sold it for $12K, walked into the bank with $12K, and they fucking interrogated me like I stole this money from somebody. Just like, they were like, well, do you have a bill of sale? I was like, no, I just sold it to a family friend for cash. And they were like, oh, so you just had $12,000 cash in hand. He gave you that. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. They were like, well, we're going to have to hold this money and review it to make sure like there's no like whatever going on in the background. I was like, that's fine, but this is crazy that I'm giving you $12,000 and you're interrogating me about it. So
insane. Or like if you go to apply for a mortgage and you have like a lump sum money that went into your account, they're like, what was that amount that you had in there and where did it come from? You say, oh, I sold some crypto or whatever. And they're like, oh, no, you can't use that money. We're not.
It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
The financial system, man. Let's change it, guys. Let's freaking change the financial system. That's what we're here for.
We're trying. That's right. That's what we're trying to do.
All right, Daniel, dude, thank you so much. You have been such a rock star. We've also gone way over time. We had technical issues at the beginning. Just in closing, any final thoughts you'd like to say to the Supra audience? Maybe what is coming up on the Tradeport roadmap, or anything you want to say? Now's your time.
Yeah, come check out Tradeport. Create some projects on Tradeport, even if it's just like something to play around with. You know, make an image in ChatGPT and upload it in the Launchpad and have an addition on there. Or if you have a good idea for a project, reach out to us and let us know you want to launch, and we'll kind of like help guide you through the process on Tradeport. It's pretty easy, but we'd be happy to help on that front. And then as far as things coming on Tradeport, I think one reason you don't see a lot of collections on Tradeport for Supra is there's like an old standard that most of the NFT projects are actually using on Supra they're not using like the updated NFT standard. At some point soon, we're going to index that old standard as well, and all those collections will be on there.
So that's, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I did have that question brought up to me the other day. It was like, why aren't some of the collections that are showing on Crystara aren't showing on Tradeport? And so that's what it is. They're using the old standard.
That's right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. We talked to the team about it a little bit. We're like, hey, we probably need to like direct people to use the new standard if that's what y'all want people to use, because they're going to keep, like, if they're, I think the way they're launching is all through the old standard. So we just need to update that. But yeah, we'll get that indexed sometime soon so that all those projects will be on there.
Awesome, man. I have, you know what I should do? I'm not even going to say it online because somebody's going to cop my idea and do it before me. I'm not going to say it. Chase and Tradeport. I got something cooking for y'all.
Let's go.
I've launched NFT collections before in the past. I've sold out NFT collections. I've worked with really big collections. I want to do something fun, man.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Right here. We'll come back to this video, baby.
Yeah, exactly. When I have to leave Supra because my NFT collection has exploded. Sorry, guys. I'm an NFT guy again.
I'm out. I'm buying a Porsche. I'm out.
I'm buying a Porsche. I'm buying a ranch and a Porsche. I'm out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Daniel, thanks so much, man. Yep, it's been good.
Thank you guys. Great.
Yep, thank you so much, Daniel. It was a blast. Let's have you on again soon and talk after my NFT collection explodes on Tradeport. We'll have to have another conversation after.
For sure.
Do it, man.
For sure. Yeah.
All right,
guys.
I love it.
Make sure that you're following Tradeport XYZ on X. Tradeport XYZ is where they are. Also, Daniel's on X as well. He is Plutus _NFT, PLUTUS _NFT. So follow him as well. Daniel, thanks again. Chase, it's been real, my boy. I'll catch you episode 45 next week. Love and peace, y'all.
Great. Peace.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah. Super Labs with the